I know a lot of times when you see people doing dangle training, it's typically with a barbell system in a squat rack. And I've demonstrated that to you in the past, but you can also use it very easily with dumbbells and kettlebells. But there are some keys that you need to be aware of when doing that so you train safely. Let's talk through a few of those. First and foremost, how are you going to connect your band onto your dumbbell or your kettlebell? Well, with the kettlebell, you have a couple of options. Because it's an enclosed surface, you could go ahead and just slide the band through, hook it onto your hand, and now you've gone ahead and you set up a system where you could do like your presses, or you could go ahead, grab the band here and do your goblet squat, or you could place it onto your shoulder, let it dangle, and do your split squat or your reverse lunge. It's very easy to do. Plus, by looping the band through the kettlebell, you've essentially doubled the resistance. So it's gonna go ahead and support the weight. You don't need as big of a band if you're using a kettlebell. Another option to attach the band onto the kettlebell is to just loop it around and attach it on like you would attach it onto a bar on the wall. However, what this is gonna do is it's gonna create a longer band system. So you're gonna have to make sure that the band you're using is strong enough to support the weight so the weight doesn't touch the floor while you're going ahead and training. If you're gonna go ahead and use it with a dumbbell, you're gonna need to attach it onto the dumbbell because you don't want the dumbbell to slide off. So you're gonna take the band, loop it through the dumbbell, and then pull the band through itself. So you're gonna hook it onto the dumbbell just like you would hook it onto a bar on the wall. However now, that's gonna create a longer band resistance, a longer band system when you're training. So you're gonna have to be aware of something. The band that you use is going to have to create a greater level of resistance than the dumbbell you're using. Otherwise, the dumbbell is gonna drop all the way to the floor and you won't be able to use true dangle training. Here's what I mean. If I stand up and I pick the dumbbell up, notice that as soon as I put it onto my shoulder, the weight pulls the dumbbell or stretches the band out. So if I'm doing a simple overhead press, no problem. The dumbbell is not going to touch the floor. However, if I'm going to go ahead and do a split squat, you can immediately see how the dumbbell is going to touch the floor. So as a result of that, what you're going to need to do is shorten the band. A couple of ways, easiest way to do it is just take the band and wrap it around your hand. Now you have it into your hand, it's a flat band, it's going to contour to your hand very nicely. And now when you go ahead and do your split squat or your reverse lunge, the dumbbell is not going to go ahead and touch the floor. As a result, you're going to get true dangle training. Keep in mind, the key is you need to go ahead and have a strong enough band to support your dumbbell. So the heavier the dumbbell, the bigger the band. So which bands are my preference when it comes to dangle training using kettlebells or dumbbells? I typically like to go ahead and use my purple large band or my green extra large band. I know that these two bands are going to provide the counter resistance I need to the dumbbell or kettlebell weight that I'm going to use. It fits my strength level, and as a result, these two bands work very well for that. Keep in mind again, if you're doubling the band, like we showed in the kettlebell, you can probably get away with a smaller band because you're going to double it. But if you're going to go ahead and use the full length of the band and just attach it onto either the kettlebell or dumbbell, you're probably going to need a significantly stronger band to counteract your band or your dumbbell or kettlebell resistance. As an older person, there's basically 2 or 3 reasons I really enjoy dangle training. Number 1, it makes light dumbbell or kettlebell or barbell resistance much more joint friendly for my body. So I can continue to lift free weights, train gravity, but I don't have to do it at risk of beating up my joints. Second reason, I need a lot of stabilization. And I want to bring stabilization into my workouts as often as possible because stabilization is what's going to allow me to help stay in balance and avoid potential falls and things of this nature if I lose my balance. And stability training is a key to that. Dangle training allows me to go ahead and work on stabilization within my workouts very easily. And lastly, it's fun. it challenges my body to go in a different way than just traditional free weight training or band training. So as a result of that, dangle training is really one of those things that you can go ahead and easily bring in to your workouts as long as you have a little bit of free weight, be it kettlebells, dumbbells, or barbells.